The next item of business is the proposed safe gatherings policy, which is found on page 169 of the pre-conference report. The following proposed policy will be introduced so that you have an opportunity to review the information in advance of the vote. However, this proposed policy will be open for questions, discussion, and voting during the business session on Friday, June 12th. Again, this is only an introduction. The chair recognizes Reverend Allie Young.
Thank you, Bishop. Good afternoon, friends. I am Reverend Allie Young. I am a cisgender female, white adult clergy person and a hearing aid user. I am happy to be with you today. It's an important thing to note that some disabilities are invisible, so I wanted to clarify for others in the room that may be wondering why I don't always respond when you call my name. That's why I made note of it today. I'm here to present the Safe Gatherings and Risk Reduction Policy on behalf of the Cabinet. First, I want to begin with the rationale behind this proposal and name that it is complicated and multifold. The most important piece of rationale is that it is a sacred trust to protect the children, youth, young adults, and vulnerable persons in our congregations, our camps, our campus ministries, and affiliated ministries of the United Methodist Church. Additionally, our current safe sanctuaries practice does not actually include a policy, but is a set of minimum standards. Our current safe sanctuaries policy was adopted in 2008 after General Conference voted to require safe sanctuaries in all annual conferences in 2004. If you're curious about what that initial proposal looked like, you can find it on pages 322 and 323 of the 2008 Conference Journal, which is available online. The world, and more specifically, technology, has changed drastically since 2008. The ability to send videos, images, apps like Snapchat, Instagram, and social media sites, and almost any other interactive app include messaging. The current Safe Sanctuaries practice has no safeguards related to social media, messaging with children, youth, and vulnerable persons in our congregation. Finally, our current policy does not account for a more expanded understanding of sexuality and gender that exist in our world and culture today. This proposed policy is expansive, yes. I'd like to take a minute to clarify a few of the concerns that have been brought to my attention. We've heard about a few things, and I want to let you know first that this policy was created in collaboration with our Chancellor, Dan Lund, and has been vetted for legal liability and to meet common insurance standards for liability insurance, which is required for all of our churches. The first sticky wicket, if you will, is diapering and bathroom procedures. We understand that this practice is quite an adjustment. This is a best practice policy. It does not supersede policies in place for state-licensed preschool and is intended to be used for things like Sunday school, nursery, etc. We understand that parents can't always leave what they're doing to come change their own child, and that is in fact why they have left them in the care of the nursery. And that in an instance where you have paid nursery staff, it is best for that paid nursery staff person who has been trained and vetted to do the diapering and bathroom procedures. Or someone who has been 100% safe gathering certified and trained. We understand that accidents happen. I am the proud mother of 3 young boys. We get it. We are willing to move this part of the policy, if it were to be proposed as an amendment, into a best practices section and out of the policy. We understand the difficulty that this places on smaller churches that do not have paid staff, or the challenges that it may pose for things like Vacation Bible School or other one-time activities in churches. We understand. Also, I'd like to point out section 12, labeled lay visitation. Unfortunately, the language in this section was not as clear as we intended it to be. This section pertains to lay people as part of a care team visiting other lay people and is not intended to be the policy for clergy persons. This portion is not simply a person visiting a friend in the hospital, but a sanctioned church visit on behalf of the church to another lay person. It is always good to bring someone with you, and it can also be a great opportunity for you to engage other people into the ministry of your church's care team. We understand that clergy are held to a different standard, and that training and boundaries training is disciplinarily required for all clergy persons each quadrennium, in addition to being Safe Gatherings certified. We are committed to working on clarifying that language so that it is clearer that this is about church-sanctioned lay care team visits to lay people and not just friends visiting friends. In no way do we want to prevent friends from visiting friends. Absolutely not. Finally, we have heard that the consequences of non-compliance to this policy seem too harsh. The consequences are a direct copy and paste from our current 2008 guidelines. We did not adapt them, we did not change them, we left them in place. There were no changes to the non-compliance, and regardless of whether or not this proposal passes, those consequences will remain in place as they are our current practice and policy as adopted by the 2008 Annual Conference. Friends, I know that we may not find a perfect policy for reducing the risk of harm in our local churches. But it is a sacred trust that has been given to us to do all that we can to attend to the 3 general rules of our church: to do no harm, to love God, and I just completely blanked on the other one, and to do good. You know, friends, I'm a little tired today. I'm a little tired today. Thank you. To love God, to do good, and to do no harm. Okay, woo. All right. It is my belief that the next faithful step forward for this policy is to take time to more carefully review the questions that have been submitted. And Bishop, if it is in order, I would like to refer this to the trustees for reconsideration and presentation at Annual Conference 2027.
Yeah. So, no.
Yes, ma'am, I figured I was not in order.
Yeah, any member can make a motion to postpone when the policy is before the body for discussion and voting.
All right, thank you, Bishop. This concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Allie. If you have questions regarding the Safe Gatherings proposal policy, please email those questions to, is there an email address? Oh, yeah, okay. annualconference@la-umc.org. Again, that's annualconference@la-umc.org. Thank you.